Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling the absolute chaos, the immediate fallout from maybe the biggest WWE betrayal we've seen all year.
Yeah, you shared your sources, and honestly, last week's Raw ended with everything just collapsing. Seth Rollins down, Paul Heyman switching sides. So this week, Raw, hashtag 1691, had to pick up the pieces. We saw a title vacated, a huge new faction announced, and, well, the whole title scene just thrown up in the air.
That's it, exactly. So this deep dive, it's your shortcut to understanding the strategy, or maybe the lack thereof, behind all this madness. What actually happened with Rollins' championship? Who are these new guys Heyman's backing? And what were the really big title changes that are going to reshape things going forward?
Yeah, let's start right at the top then, because the World Heavyweight Championship situation really dominated everything. I mean, we saw what Bron Breakker did last week, that spear, the tsunami. We knew it was bad for Rollins.
And the sources confirmed it. Serious injury, needs surgery. So Adam Pearce, the GM, he had no choice, really. Had to declare the World Heavyweight Championship officially vacant. A really rough end to Rollins' reign, but here's where it gets interesting. The belt wasn't just, handed back quietly.
Oh, no, not at all.
The belt itself became part of the launch party for this new faction. You had Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed next to him, and Paul Heyman orchestrating it all. Breakker walks out with the championship physically on his shoulder, just pure mind games from the jump. The arrogance from Breakker in that segment was just, wow. He didn't just give the title back. He made Pearce, the guy technically in charge, kind of humiliate himself, demanded he ask nicely, then even say please, before Breakker even bothered passing the belt to Heyman, who then finally gave it to Pearce. That just screams major heel move, doesn't it? It sets him up as this huge, arrogant antagonist.
And Heyman was right there, ready with the justification, the narrative. What's fascinating and so typical of Heyman is he didn't deny the betrayal. He spun it, said it was inevitable, necessary evolution. He didn't betray Roman, didn't betray Rollins. He selected Breakker and Reed, called them the winners, the future.
So it wasn't about loyalty. It was about picking the winning side. Strategic foresight, not a moral failing.
That's the pitch, exactly. Heyman basically said Rollins couldn't handle the future once he got hurt. And this whole group, it's officially called the Revision of the Future. It's aggressive branding designed to make everyone else seem outdated, obsolete. It's cold, really, arguing today's champs are just weaker than tomorrow's inevitable ones.
Okay, but I have to ask this. If the whole revision thing is built on Breakker being this unstoppable future force, doesn't bringing in Bronson Reed as immediate backup kind of undercut that? It feels a bit like Heyman's hedging his bets already.
That's a really sharp point. It raises that strategic question, right? Heyman's a master of managing perception, though. Breakker's the face, the speed, the ruthlessness. But Reed, he's the muscle, the raw power needed to shut down any immediate thoughts of revenge. It's almost like protection disguised as an alliance.
Well, hedge or not, Pearce had to deal with the reality. He moved fast, announced CM Punk, who already had that top spot claim, would fight for the vacant title at Saturday night's main event. And his opponent decided later that night in a big battle royal.
Right, so the main event stage was set, but the chaos from the top title being vacant, it immediately spilled over, destabilized everything else on the card.
Yeah, that's a perfect transition because that instability at the very top absolutely created waves down the card. In the mid-card, the tag divisions. Suddenly everyone's scrambling, trying to assert themselves, led to 3 really high-stakes title matches, all defined by either change or controversy.
Let's hit the one clean title change first. The World Tag Team Championship. We had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee challenging the Judgment Day, specifically Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
And we saw some cracks backstage even before the bell rang, didn't we? Dominik Mysterio arguing with Finn and JD about even having to defend the belts. It kind of suggests Judgment Day might be feeling the pressure, maybe fracturing a bit internally.
Yeah, me so. Despite that, it was a really solid match. Went over 13 minutes. In the end, AJ Styles hit the Styles Clash on Balor, got the pin. Huge win. Legitimate. Styles and Lee are your new champs, and honestly, they bring a totally fresh dynamic, that high-flying style, to a division that, frankly, needed it.
Okay, now let's shift to controversy. The men's Intercontinental title match. Dominik Mysterio defending against Rusev. Dom's whole championship identity is basically desperation, right? And we saw him pull out all the stops here. Blatant cheating.
It was fascinating just how far he went. First, he tries to just walk out. Clear sign he thinks he can't win clean. Penta stops him, thankfully. But the real low point, or maybe high point for Dom's strategy, was hiding the timekeeper's hammer in his boot.
Yeah, I saw that. Rusev finds it, The ref gets distracted trying to deal with the hammer, and while that's happening, Mysterio hits a low blow, follows up with a frog splash, gets the pin. Super controversial win, keeps the belt on him, but you gotta wonder, how much longer does Pierce let this kind of stuff slide?
Well, it had immediate consequences, just not from Pierce. Penta charged the ring, attacked Rusev. Seems like that rivalry is heating up again. Maybe Penta's just frustrated seeing Mysterio cheat his way out again.
And the third title match, Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defending against Maxxine Dupri. Becky was dominant for a lot of it, but Dupri fought back hard. Got a few near falls that seemed to genuinely rattle Lynch.
And this is where you see that character shift we talked about. Becky Lynch, usually so controlled, so strategic, she got frustrated. Visibly frustrated by Dupri just not staying down, and she just snapped. Grabbed the title belt, hit Dupri with it, lost the match by DQ.
Right, DQ means she keeps the title, but the implication is massive. That loss of control wasn't just a blip either. She attacked Dupri again after the match. It signals something's really changing with her. Maybe the pressure from Seth's situation, Heyman's betrayal. It's affecting her deep down, a really critical moment for her character.
That shift kind of leads us nicely into the backstage politics, doesn't it? Because tensions were high everywhere. We got to talk about the Usos. Genji tries to apologize to Jimmy for whatever happened last week, and Jimmy just shuts him down, ice cold.
Yeah, Jimmy's response was brutal. Said he was only focused on the Battle Royal, and tonight, every man for himself. And the sources confirmed Roman Reigns wasn't even there, completely absent.
Right.
Lose the Usos to figure out this mess on their own. Just amps up that feeling of isolation, everyone looking out for number one.
But maybe the most significant backstage moment, that confrontation between Lynch and Heyman. This happened right after Heyman got kicked out of Pierce's office, probably after Breakker and Reed were officially pulled from the Battle Royal because, they're involved with the main title now. Heyman looked genuinely annoyed, kind of isolated for a second.
And seeing Lynch also frustrated, Heyman spots an opportunity, right? Tries his usual manipulation, tells her there's still a place for her in his vision, promises her a future, even makes that weird comment about her still having a hot husband at home. Ugh.
Classic Heyman, trying to exploit perceived weakness. But Lynch's response, oh, it was brilliant, said she never trusted him in the first place. But the real killer line, the real threat, was about what happens when Rollins comes back.
She told Heyman that Rollins wouldn't just come back for quick revenge on him. No. Rollins would systematically take out everyone associated with the Revision, Breakker, Reed, anybody else, destroy them all, and then come back for Heyman, leaving him completely all alone.
That idea, calculated, prolonged psychological isolation. That's way worse for Heyman than just getting beat up. It hits his ego, right where he lives. His whole thing is being surrounded by power, by winners.
So it makes you think, doesn't it? This whole Revision built on betrayal. How stable can it really be, especially when the guy who got betrayed is known for playing the long game? Heyman's used to dealing with physical threats, maybe not this kind of psychological warfare.
Exactly. It's a huge question hanging over this whole new faction. And we saw other moves happening in the women's division too, signaling shifts everywhere. The Kabuki Warriors put up this really sharp video package. Said after breaking Io Sky and ruining Rhea Ripley's homecoming, they're now targeting the entire tag team division. They aren't settling.
And then a really unexpected alliance formed. Stephanie Vacher beats Roxanne Perez, but then Raquel Rodriguez attacks Vacher after the match.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Nikki Bella runs down, makes the save for Vacher. They embrace, looks like a brand new team, probably aimed right at Judgment Day or maybe just Raquel.
Interesting development. And Bella even gave Vacher a little warning, like, watch your back now you're a champion. Seems like even new friends know the score. Champions always have targets on their backs.
And just to round it out, Lyra Valkyria mentioned she's looking for new tag opportunities, excited to team with Pei again. So, yeah, lots of movement there, especially with the Kabuki Warriors making threats.
All this maneuvering, all the title instability, the personal drama, it all funneled straight into the main event, that massive 17-entrant Battle Royal, the prize, facing CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, huge stakes. Gunko's right there on commentary, watching everything unfold. The field was pretty stacked, too. Both Usos, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Rusev, Penta, and of course, the ever-controversial Dominik Mysterio was in there, too.
The match itself was pretty wild. Lots of stories playing out. You saw Judgment Day trying to work together early on, dumping out Dragon Lee. Sheamus went on absolute tear, eliminating Ivar, McDonough, and Balor looked unstoppable until, kind of shockingly, Kofi Kingston eliminated him.
But the detail, the sneaky detail that kept the chaos going, involved Dominik Mysterio again. He gets eliminated by AJ Styles around the 11-minute mark, but the ref only distracted by a brawl outside. So Dom just slides back into the ring. Unbelievable. His cheating just finds new levels.
That hidden presence, Dom just lurking, kept the tension boiling right to the end. AJ Styles finally got tossed out by Jey Uso. Then came that gut-wrenching moment for the Usos. Jey eliminates LA Knight, and then, looking absolutely torn but focused, Jey eliminates his own brother, Jimmy, right around 18 minutes in.
You could see it on Jimmy's face, pure fury and frustration, especially after he'd saved Jack a couple of times earlier. It felt like a point of no return for them, especially with Roman not around. Just deepens that split.
But Jey had to do it for the shot. And the last man standing in his way, the ridiculously resilient and, yeah, incredibly sneaky Dominik Mysterio. Jey finally got rid of him just seconds later to win the whole thing.
Jey Uso wins the Battle Royal, and that sets up a massive match. Totally fresh, potentially explosive. Jey Uso versus CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. Wow. Neither guy has held this title before. Guarantees a brand new champion.
So let's synthesize this for you, the listener. What does it all mean? Well, the championship scene is completely rebooted. Breakker and Heyman have seized the narrative with this aggressive revision. We've got legitimate new tag champs in Styles and Lee. We've seen critical character shifts, especially Becky Lynch losing her cool. And out of all that chaos, Jey Uso grabs the brass ring, heading for a huge clash with CM Punk.
Yeah, it's like a whole new landscape built on the ruins of last week's betrayal. And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on. Becky Lynch promised Heyman that Rollins would return, destroy everyone around Heyman first, and leave him utterly alone. So does this new vision, built on ruthless ambition and backstabbing, already have a built-in self-destruct timer? Could Rollins' calculated patient revenge actually be the thing that isolates Paul Heyman more completely than anything else?
A chilling thought indeed. What happens when the master manipulator finds himself completely isolated by the consequences of his own schemes?
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep into all this Raw fallout with us today. Hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want us to keep dissecting all the chaos, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment. It really helps us keep these deep dives coming.
It really does. We appreciate the support.
We'll catch you on the next one.